mentioned strategies, because what another thing I noticed is a lot of people love trading options because of something like the SPY or Apple or Google or Amazon. A lot of traders, they want to trade the options because it's too expensive. And some people, if you have a smaller account, you want to get that leverage. You want to get something that allows you to trade it, because, I mean, buying 10 shares of SPY for for $2,000 or whatever it is, and if the stock goes up 3 points and you sell and like, oh man, I made $27. It's not really that exciting. And at some level, it's also can be very cost effective. So the other reason that I wanted to share this webinar with everyone in Australia, or everyone who's international, if you're here live or here in the recording, watching this on YouTube or from Manny's website or from my website, I learned about something interesting that I had no idea what it was.
Until you met me.
After I met you, I want you to tell me a little bit more about what the heck is a CFD.
Okay, so the rest of the world feels a little bit sorry for you Australians, and I think Canadians as well. I'm not quite sure. We really don't need to trade options because we have what's called a contract for difference, and it's this game that someone invented, like soccer or football in America, where if you have a CFD broker, let's say you trade the Dow is easier for me to calculate. Let's say Dow is at 20,000 at the moment. I only need to put up about 5% leverage. So how much is 5%? Let's say I need only to put up $100 to trade one contract of the Dow. Now, $100 compared to, I think you guys have to put at least $500 or $1,000 to trade one contract. Is that correct? I'm not quite sure how America works, to be honest. But for us, a CFD basically works, we get margin. We only need to put up a little bit of money. And it's called contract for difference because you have an agreement with a broker that if the market moves up, and let's say you bought at 20,000, market moves up to 20,100, you get paid on the $100, the difference. If the market moves down, you have to pay the broker the $100. I mean, it's like normal trading, right? You make money, you lose money. The difference is that we can do it on margin. It does not go into the real market most of the time. And this is how brokers can afford to let you trade on margin. That has become a real game changer all across the world, because now people who couldn't trade because of lack of funds, they can trade now. So you can pretty much start trading with $200. I can trade an Aussie dollar, Aussie US, AUD USD contract for $2.50.
Wow.
It's cheaper than a coffee. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So you don't really want to do that. You want to make sure that you do money and risk management, because the money and risk management that is required for trading CFDs is a little bit different to options. And there's pros and cons between options and CFDs. So the options market in Australia, and I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but I know Australia is not thriving anymore. And if you have people who really relate with options and love trading options, they all trade the American market now, because the Australian options market is more or less dead. So not much volume because everybody's moved into CFDs. Did I explain it, or is there any more questions?
No, I think it's a solid. So tell me about the CFDs. Do they have or do they have expiration dates like an option?
No. So it's a continuous contract. You can stay in for the rest of your life.
No way. No expiration date. Wow.
No expiration date. You do have to pay interest on the contract. So because of course, if you buy a $20,000 contract and you only put up $100, there is an interest component. But I found the interest component is much less than the profit that you can make. And the interest component depends on the interbank rates as well. So you can calculate that in advance. You do receive dividends if you're long, and you have to pay dividends if you're short.
Wow, and again, you can still get dividends if you own a CFD.
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, that's really wild. I had no idea. Man, so how do you go about mitigating risk with the CFD?
Exactly the same, like if you buy the underlying contract, you put in an OCO order or an Otoko order, or you put in a simple stop loss. If you trade at market, let's say you would have bought at 23.60, where the spike was, you put your stop loss underneath where you would put your stop loss. So
Okay.
what's that, 23.60, is it? No,
236,
yeah.
yeah.
And you put your stop loss at 234. That's it. Or you say you put in your conditional order, buy at 236. If that gets triggered, put in your stop loss. If that stop loss doesn't get triggered, get my profit target.
Totally.
Exactly the same.
So
it's really simple.
Mandy, do you know the math behind the CFD risk mitigation? So I mean, for example, if I'm buying right here, I know I could buy for like $100, and I know it's easier than options. That I do know. Because with options, you have bid-ask spreads, expiration dates, with strike price, implied volatility, delta, gamma, theta. And a lot of my Australian traders, you're exactly right. They quit trading the Australian market. They're really focused on the US. And that's why I've reached out to you, because in the last 6 months, I've gotten bombarded in a good way by Australian traders saying, hey, Jerremy, what's all this stuff with options? I need to learn about options. And they've never traded stocks profitably. So what I tell them is, hey, options are cool, but you want to first learn how to trade stocks before you trade options. And then someone might say, I agree. I think it's absolutely the approach, but I don't really have the amount of money that I think is meaningful to trade stocks, because I'd only make like 20 or $100 a month. And I go, absolutely. And from there, I'm like, I don't really know what to do. And then again, as me and you started talking, I learned more about the contract for difference. Guys, if you are not doing this, and you are an international trader, so this is not something you can do in the United States. This is not something you can do in Canada, to my knowledge. So if you live in the US or in Canada, don't worry about it. Too bad. There's other things that we can do. US people, don't feel too bad. But for the international people, which is a lot of the world, CFDs, let me show you what some of these look like. I did contact a trader. He's one of my coaching students, and this is what a CFD looks like. I will do my best to enlarge this. Can you see this, Mandy, okay, or is it too small?
Yes, yeah, perfect. Ferrari, I love it.
Yeah, so look what this guy's trading. So he's trading Ferrari, he's trading Apple, he's trading Google, he's trading Facebook, and he has some positions in Forex. So he's buying a contract for difference. Now, the important thing that I want my Australian traders and my other national traders to know is check out the price that he is spending right here. So he has a contract of difference for Google and Google for $926, Apple for 148, Facebook for 150. Now, granted, they're similar. Those are similar to option prices in America. So I could buy one contract for 148 bucks. But what you're doing is you're taking advantage of the stock movement. And again, like Mandy was saying, there's no expiration date.
No time decay.
No time decay, which is huge. And again, this is just my personal opinion. What a lot of Australian traders have battled with and have asked me about is when they're trading options, they get really annoyed with all of the minutia of options, and they have a hard time breaking through that, because in order to really, really get excited about trading, you've got to start making money. It's true. That's the truth. So options are one of the hardest things you can do. Now, they're really cool. That's great. But that's like saying, I want to be a professional race car driver, but I have never driven a vehicle before. I'm just going to hop in a Ferrari. Probably not the best idea. So you want to start off with a nice 2010 silver Toyota Corolla, and drive on the back roads and practice driving a little bit before you just hop into a very speedy, fast machine. So even though now this particular, I will gloat for a second. He's a coaching student. He sends me these pretty often. So he was up $315, but he's in a lot of positions, and these commissions. Tell me a little bit about the commissions, Manny, because I also don't think they're that much either.
It depends. So the commissions for US stocks is anything between 10 Australian dollars and then a percentage, but it really depends on your position size. So if I say 10 Australian dollars, that's like for one full contract and not. So you can see he has a 0.3 on, so he has a 0.3 of a contract on, and hence
Okay.
the position, the commission is a little less. You can see the swap, so that's the interest that we are paying for overnight holding. So he paid $6.30 in swap, but he is $200 up. So his cost is $9.30 at the moment.
Now, does he pay $6.30 of interest every day?
No, that would be accumulated. He must have. Can you see when he entered? That must have been on the 1st of May. That was right. So, if that was from, let's say, last week, that would have been 3 weeks holding. I don't think it's last week, so because it would be more by now. But that's maybe $1 overnight. So depends on the broker again. Depends on the interest rates that we have.
Okay.
I just want to address Justin. Justin says it suggested that US people can do CFDs. No, it's not. Every Australian or international broker is really concerned about not having American traders because America they're hunting them down. They find them. So interesting.
Well, I will say, so, and again, I can look more into this, Linderman, but these particular brokers, I know all of them, obviously Interactive Brokers. These are all brokers that offer CFD trading that traders in the U.S. can use. But I do not think you can trade CFDs through those brokers if you live in America. So I know a lot of prop traders, you mentioned prop traders earlier. This is another way for day trading. You can day trade CFDs as well. Am I correct on that, Mandi?
Yeah, you can do, I scalp on CFDs. So on the DEX, I need 90 Australian dollars to trade one baby DEX contract. So
wow, that is so wild. That is really, really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So
I think they can trade CFDs on FX, but again, it's not the same CFDs that we have. It's a different product. Because as I said, America is really strong on this one.
Yeah, so there's some interesting rules, and I don't know how long it'll change. And really, my main objective for this is just educating and informing and enriching traders, specifically in Australia, because I mentioned earlier I'm getting a lot recently. And that's why I reached out to Mandi because she lives there. But this also is available in Europe, right? Asian countries,
everywhere,
pretty much
India,
everywhere.
Pakistan,
Yep,
China.
So it's a really big deal for those of you who are watching this, because I would suggest reaching out and trying to get more information on CFDs. So since we got some time left, I didn't want to go too massively long, but Jill's asking, which broker do you use? Which broker do you use, Mandi?
FP Markets.
You use FP Markets also? Okay.
Yeah.
So here's FP Markets. FP Markets. So this particular link, for those of you who are watching this video, I'll include it in the description box below in YouTube. And pretty much the objective of FP Markets is, if you're doing CFDs, are we allowed to give Jimmy's email out to anybody, or should we just say contact us and we'll give him Jimmy's email?
Jimmy is in Hawaii at the moment, so
right. Not right now. No, he's not gonna do it right now. I'm just saying later.
Yes, so should be fine. Yeah.
Let's do this. What I will do. How about this, guys? Just email either myself or Mandi. We'll give you Jimmy's email.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Exactly.
If you want more information, there's a lot of brokers out there, right? Feel free to choose whomever you would like to. Go about whatever route you want. FP Markets is a broker that offers a lot of trading opportunities for a lot of international traders. You can email me, Jerremy, with 2 R's, Jerremy at reallifetrading.com, reallifetrading.com. And I'll give you the link to Jimmy. Jimmy was the guy, one of the gentlemen who explained also. And I love you, Mandi, but when you told me this, I was like, there's no way that's totally accurate. I need to talk to somebody else. So I talked to a guy who works at this broker. I asked him, he's actually a trader. So he does
He's an
actively
amazing
trade.
trader.
Really good trader. He trades CFDs. We talked through some strategies. That link I just showed you, those pictures, those trades, those were not Jimmy's. Those were someone else. But
nah, he's bigger than that.
yeah.
Jeremy, yeah.
Those are not Jimmy's trades. But yeah, he told me a lot more about CFDs. I got a good understanding of them, a pretty good understanding anyway. And if you want to use FP markets, if you're in Australia, I will post a link in the chat pane below. Again, you can also email me. It'll also be in the description box. It's something to at least investigate, because, and that's go ahead.
How about we get Jimmy to run a training on how to use FP markets to trade American stocks?
Let's do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, because he is the best at it, and as I said, he's a very big trader, so he knows trading. He understands.
Okay.
The other thing, so someone asked why I don't use another broker. This broker is actually a market maker that you suggest, Richard. FP markets are not market makers, so that's something really important to me. I know that they are not, FP markets' interest is not to raid my account. The problem with market makers is that they don't need to put an order into the real life market. That means if you have a $10,000 loss, they pocket your loss. That's why I'm happy to lose $10,000, but it annoys me if my broker makes me lose $10,000 because they spike my position. I'm not saying that every broker does that, but there are brokers who do. FP markets, they're not a market maker, so they are really interested in making sure that I stay alive as a trader, and hence they put on a lot of training. I train a lot for their clients because they want their clients to succeed. And also we are going to get Jerremy on to run a few trainings as well in FP markets, I think. So that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's something else. So yeah, me and Jimmy talked about working with some strategies and kind of showing, here's how I approach things, because he's a big fib Bollinger Band guy. And I use them a lot as well. But we talked about reaching out through the FP market, some of his customers, and me kind of showing how I trade and all that kind of good stuff. But there's a lot of good questions coming in the chat pane, and those are all for you, Mandi.
Okay, so I just get to them. So MXO, same. You can trade Forex through FP markets, pretty much the same as everyone else. I use the MT4 platform for that. Just makes it a little bit easier. Same with the DEX. What about safety of clients' funds? John is asking. So absolutely safe, segregated accounts. The safety of clients' funds is something that I personally take really, really serious, because we had a few brokers who went bust, like MF Global.
Oh, and, I heard about that.
Yeah, so I have actually a few clients who got caught in that, who had big accounts, like $1 million accounts, and lost everything. And one guy had to go back and teach tennis for $25, and he was a big trader.
No way.
Yeah, he was like a trader who would make, $10,000 more profit a trade, and went back to $25 tennis sessions. So because he lost everything. So the lesson from that is that I never keep all my money in the account. It's really easy to add money to the account if you need to look after margin. I just keep, maybe a few thousand. Again, I don't need much margin, but I need to make sure. Actually, Jerremy, we should run another webinar on risk management and how to calculate your positions in CFDs, because it's very different to trading actual stocks.
Yeah, well, here's a question, actually. Are you able to potentially try to take control of my screen? And you're welcome to show me. We got time. We can learn right now if you want.
I'm not quite sure.
I know it's going to be, I'm trying to think what it looks like. So under our face, there's like a new share button, and then it says pause, and then there's the thing that says annotate.
No, I don't have that. I just have you and me. Yeah. That's okay. I think it really warrants a separate training, because it takes about half an hour at least to train that. Yeah.
That's totally fair. So how to calculate risk on CFDs. Sounds good to me.
Exactly. Yeah. So in terms of safety of client funds, make sure you always keep a minimum amount. You keep the rest in your savings account, and then you just add as you need more margin or not. Yeah, so that's what I always do. I always take my profits out as well, just because that's the broker risk that we deal with. So yeah,
Great question, John.
yeah, fantastic question. How will you compare CFDs to Forex? Is a question from MXO. Now, you have to understand that CFDs is an instrument and Forex is a market. So it's kind of like CFD is the car and Forex is the Ferrari. So you can trade CFDs in Australia. You can CFDs on everything, on sugar, on oil, on pork belly, on orange juice, on Forex, on indices around the world, the African rand against the Turkish lira, whatever it is, right? So Forex again is what you trade, the market that you trade or the instrument that you trade, and the CFD is the vehicle you use in order to trade that market. Yeah, so that's the difference.
Yeah.
So
kind of
I
like
also
this guy had
yeah.
He has some CFDs on some Forex positions.
Yeah. So that's silver where your mouse is, and underneath is gold. XAG is silver. So
Okay.
he did
Okay.
really well here, huh?
Yeah, he did pretty good.
Yeah, and you can see, look at his balance. He's got $3,000 in the account, and he needs $450 in margin for, making $350 profit, $315 profit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the, the return on investment almost.
Yeah, solid.
It's a 10% on his money in the bank.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I just want to go into advantage of trading options because there is an advantage. And
okay.
Some of my big guys, the fund manager guys, they actually still trade options. And the reason for that is that you are actually able to, because of the time decay, and you would be better at that than me because I don't trade much options, but because of the time decay, if your option doesn't go in the direction that you wanted it to go, I think you can do other strategies on top of it so that you either go out square or you still come out at a profit. And I know one of my friends, fund manager friends, he just did an Aussie dollar trade that where he got pinned, and he then just put other options on top, and he came out with no loss. So you can't really do that as much in CFDs. It's even though you can put other, you can hedge your position, so you can go long and short at the same time, but that always ends up as a mess, I find. So did that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, totally. No. So that makes sense. I didn't even think about that, but I mean, I still like options. I'm not saying that I don't, but if you're starting out trading, I personally say go with stocks, make money that way.
Yeah.
Either buy or sell, right? There's nothing else. With options, you can buy to open, sell to open, buy to close, sell to close, different strikes, different expirations, different, implied volatilities and different Greeks and things like that. But yeah, with options, you can sell them rather than buy them. Can you sell a CFD rather than buy a CFD?
Yeah, you can.
Oh man.
You can go long and short on anything. On stocks, you don't need, you know how when you trade short on the underlying stocks, let's say you want to short Apple, you need to be with a broker who offers the opportunity or the option to the possibility to short the actual Apple stock. So they need to borrow from someone who owns an Apple stock so that you can short it. Really messy. With my CFD, I bring up the order and I press sell. That's all there is to it, Cool. I love it so much. It's so easy.
Very, very cool. So before we go, some quick questions. What, as an American, can we invest in Australia, either a sector or a stock that you think is good for the next year?
You could have told me that you're going to ask me that question.
I know. I could have.
I have no clue because I don't trade stocks, I don't know.
I'm saying, is there a company right now that you think is coming on the scene that's interesting, or?
The thing with the Australian market, number one, we don't have as many stocks as the Americans, and number two, there's a lot of penny stocks, and they're being moved really quickly, really hard. I can get you some amazing equities traders on for your next webinar. if you want to, like prop traders that I personally know, they make a shitload of money in trading stocks.
Yeah.
But I'm not qualified to say that.
That's
Someone
cool.
says renewable energy. Again, I don't know. I know that the marijuana stocks went crazy here, crazy.
Which stocks is
And
that? Mariana?
marijuana.
What is that?
Oh, okay. How do you say that in American? Can someone help me here? Weed.
Weed. Oh,
Thank
marijuana.
Thank you. Dope.
Sorry.
It was my German
I thought it
accent.
said
It was my German
Mariana. I
accent.
was like, who's Mariana? She sounds pretty. Marijuana. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Richard types in weed. That's funny, Richard.
So
That is funny. Yeah, marijuana stocks. They went pretty crazy over here for a little bit too. What's the Australian index ticker again?
The ASX XJO.
XJO. ASX. I know it's on here somewhere.
It would be AUXJO.
I don't. TradingView is weird. This charting software is strange.
Oh, okay.
I've accessed it before. Jill, do you remember what it is? I know I trade with Jill often. Because I just wanted to look at the ASX before we left. I figured that would just be apropos.
Would it be so if you just put XJO?
XJO. Ah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
There we go. Cool. So let's look at this. Let's see how I would trade this if I was trading the Australian index. So you guys haven't made that new 2008 high yet. Okay.
No. We didn't. No, we don't want to go into politics.
No, yeah. Look at that resistance. Oh man.
Double top, hey?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's gonna double, but it'd be big resistance for sure. I would say that would be a very easy.
It double topped on the daily.
I'd be going short, right?
It double topped on the daily.
Let me hop over here to the daily. So there's the weekly on the ASX. So let's hop over here to the daily. So the daily. Yep, a little bit of a double top action.
Yeah, almost complete.
Yeah, very, very pretty. Very pretty. So let's see where I would have my support resistance lines on the ASX. So I'd have one there. I'd have one there. So really, at present, I mean, it's coming down to a decent support. So again, it's one of the things where you're probably looking at the hourly chart. You might not want to buy here, but if it's going to bounce, this is the area where you would look to kind of start getting.
Yep.
But again, just kind of going back to that strategy. I mean, that's the thing is you never know the future. The main objective of all trading is just create a plan and follow it. But you've seen a few times if you played this support, it worked really well right there. And then if you went short, same place you went short right there, that one would have worked. And then if you went long here, it worked for a day or two. But let's say you got stopped out and you lost your risk. Now you're back at that support and you can try again. So, I mean, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, trading, it's a beautiful game. I want to get us to here together, kind of talk about a lot of things, but really just say hey to all my Australian traders. Have another webinar with Mandi because I want to have another one because you're awesome.
So are you. Thank you.
Did you have any questions for me by any chance?
I just wanted to add one more thing because you said it's the best way to learn trading is trade stocks first. And the other advantage is that you can trade on CFDs with so little risk. So when I mentioned before, I can trade an Aussie dollar contract with $2.50 margin. That is per pip I make or lose 10 cents. So you can see I don't lose much money whilst I'm training and learn to be a good trader. On the XJO, I need, I think, $50 margin. And so one contract, again, for all the contracts that I mentioned, the DAX, the Dow Jones, one point move is I make or lose $1. So if I'm a newbie and I need to learn to read structure and get a feel for it and have fears, I don't risk much. I maybe lose $50 instead of $500. It's a massive difference when you have the family to feed.
Yeah.
So it's another advantage of trading CFDs when you're learning, when you're starting out, and to have it as an entry into options trading, because like options trading, you need to understand the structure of the market. Whatever instrument you trade, GAN, Elliott wave
Oh, the
options.
GAN. Oh, man, I haven't heard of GAN in
But
forever.
it doesn't matter, right? It's
Yeah.
all about reading structure of the market. It's all the
Yeah.
same thing in the end.
You know, you're
Just
totally
look
right.
at it from a different view. That's it.
You're totally right.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's
Yeah.
Forex, doesn't matter if it's commodities, futures, it all comes down to the end. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, that's every program that we're, that I'm here, man, you're here, we always talk about. That's the psychology. The hard part is once you know what to do, the hard part is doing it. Right? That's the hard part,
Yeah.
Eating healthy, working out, all that stuff. It's like, we know we can do it. Now you just have to. So this was
I
awesome.
do have a question. I do have a question for you.
Yes.
We talk a lot, you and I, but I never get to ask you this question. How does it work with your chat room? Maybe now is the time to ask you.
Okay. How does work with my chat room? What do you mean?
So like not chat room, sorry, your trading room. You have a trading room, right?
Yeah, I do.
What time does it start? Because I usually sleep or trade myself.
Do you have a trading room? I don't remember. Do you?
No,
have
I don't. I don't. Yeah.
So
I mess with people's minds. I don't. I leave the teaching, the structures to yourself.
I like it. If you're here right now, type in a 1 if you attend the trading room, just so that we can see who's here. I know Linderman does and Jill does, and I have a trading room from Monday through Friday. The one that would probably be the most conducive for Australian traders, I have from 5 to 6 New York time.
Yeah, great. This is like 5 to 6. That is 8 to 9 in the morning at the moment in Sydney.
So I have 5 to 6 New York time, and I do record it. So that's a swing trading room. And really the day trading room, I also have a day trading room, but we're day trading U.S. equities. I have had some Australian traders there, but it is 9 New York time, 9 a.m. So I think that's you said it's 11 your time.
11:30, Julian says.
11:30, yeah. So 11:30.
That is Adelaide, I would say.
It's late, exactly. It's late. So it's like I start off, we're day trading, and it doesn't really get started till 11:30.
It's Adelaide.
But then we go until
Adelaide is a city. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
It's not late. It's Adelaide.
So it's late when you get older, man. I'm with you. I know it's hard. It's hard.
Adelaide is a city. It's not late.
Oh, sorry. Gotcha. Yeah, that's how my trading room works. How about I do this? So this is going to work out really well, actually, Mandi. I have a free week coming up in June.
Okay, cool.
Let me send you that link. And for anyone who's here, I'm gonna let you get access to that. And any of Mandi's followers, friends, fanatics, people love Mandi. I'll give you that link as well, and you can share that. This is we do look at U.S. stocks, but I can look at anything. As long as I get the ticker. Like for example, the ASX, I can pull it up and go, hey, this is where I would buy, this is where I would sell, this is why. I do all the analysis, and then I do record it and send it out at 9 o'clock your guys' time in the morning. I send out that recording. So maybe if you drive to work or you commute or whatever, you can click that recording and just watch it.
Or you can hide in the toilet for a few minutes and watch it. That's what some of my clients do. I check their charts on the iPhone.
Whatever you want to do.
Yep.
Sure. But, yeah, I'd love to have you though, Mandi. That'd be fun.
Cool. Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thanks for asking.
And also thanks for my guys. I always want to give them as much value as possible. So having them the opportunity to check out your room, I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, no, my pleasure. Thank you for doing this with me. And me and you will chat again soon to figure out what's the next one, if it's CFD risk mitigation or a broker walkthrough with Jimmy to figure out exactly what we can do. It might be either or both. But
both. We want it all, Jeremy.
Let's do it. All right, Mandi. Thank you again.
Thank you as well, and thank you everyone who attended.
You're welcome, John. Thanks so much for being here, Sally. I appreciate it. S. Wong, thank you so much. Jeff Brown, Jill, all of my Australian traders. I just want you to know we really do care about you over here in the U.S. I know we're distant cousins very, very far away. But I want to do my absolute best to enrich lives across the world. If you have any questions, you can email me, Jerremy@reallifetraining.com. Chat with Mandi. Make sure to go to her website. It's a great website. We're going to give you more content. This is not the end, only the beginning. You guys rock. Thanks, man.
Okay, bye.
See ya.